welcome to Squabble, a noisy quarrel about something petty or trivial. I'm Carter.
And I'm Jacob.
And today is a Wednesday, or is it Thursday?
Nope. Yep, it's a Thursday.
It's definitely a Thursday. Coming at you on a Thursday afternoon, or whenever
Thursday
you're watching
evening.
this.
Is on recording.
Right. It's debatable.
Or Thursday morning. Thursday night.
It's whenever you're watching it.
Thursday noon.
Yep.
Noon. Such a specific time. Is noon exactly 12 o'clock, or is it any time between 12 and 1?
No. Noon is 12. Exactly. 12 p.m.
Not 12 a.m.? What's that? That's midnight.
Right.
Yeah.
That is confusing, the 12s. But
the 12s are confusing, yeah.
So Nintendo did something crazy.
They did do something crazy that everyone's been talking about
recently. I don't know how recent it will be once this episode comes out, but
you guys are getting an inside look on to see how far ahead we film these videos then.
Right. Where Chris Pratt is apparently voicing Mario in a Mario.
He's voicing Mario. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. We need to digest that for a second.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt is voicing Mario. Pause. What?
Yeah. Hold up. Pause. And in the cast list, the sad thing, the thing that really got to me was that it listed all these big names, and with a guest appearance by
Charles Martinet, which is the guy that actually voices Mario.
Right. He's just a guest appearance or a...
It's like a slap in the face, right?
Yeah. Imagine being...
For 30 years he's played Mario.
Yeah, and then there's we're going to make a movie.
And he's like, oh,
yeah. Sick. And then the cast list comes
not
out and
only that,
they're
going to be like, you're in it. You're like, you're going to be in the Mario movie.
Right,
Obviously, he probably assumed he was going to be Mario.
Right.
And then he wasn't.
Right.
It's a big F you to that guy, poor guy. I mean, right?
Yeah, F in the chat.
But Jack Black is going to be Bowser, so all is well.
Yeah. I have thought about it, honestly. I've thought long and hard, and I am in support of a Jack Black Bowser.
Thank you. Yeah, because we talked about it just separately, just on our own, and you were saying that you were a little worried about that one, that they were going to make him a joke. But remember, Jack Black isn't a heavy metal band, so...
That is true. I often forget that.
Yeah.
That Jack Black, I believe, started
his buddies
in a band before he did anything else.
Yeah, I think they were around. Yeah, I think they were around since before he acted, or at least definitely before he was as big of an actor.
And yeah, that's always... every time I remember that, I question my whole existence.
Yeah.
And I realize that there's some people who are diehard fans of Jack Black's
Yeah, do you even know
band.
what it's called? I know what it's called.
Hold on, I remember it. It's right there on the tip of my tongue. I don't know what.
It's Tenacious D.
Tenacious, yes.
Tenacious D.
I don't know what that means, but...
No, like the letter D. It's like Tenacious D.
What is... Yeah, but what's tenacious mean again?
Tenacious, but I don't know what tenacious means, but I know
tending to keep a firm hold of something.
Of D.
Persisting and existent. Tenacious D is an American comedy rock duo formed in Los Angeles in 1994. It was founded by actors Jack Black and Kyle Gass. That makes it sound like they acted before they started the band. But
I think they might have. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. They were members of the Actors Gang Theater Company at the time.
But I don't think they were famous yet.
Right.
What time? When did it say the band started?
The duo's in 1994. The duo's name is derived from tenacious defense, a phrase used by NBA basketball sportscaster Marv Albert. Interesting.
How fun. What a fun story.
Okay. I was expecting a cooler story, but I respect that.
Well, what's wrong with that story?
Nothing's wrong with the story. I'm sure there's more to the story than that.
I mean, we're called frickin' Squabble, okay? Not that that's a bad name. Obviously, I like it.
But if we're being honest, there's not a whole story behind that.
Mm-hmm. I bet. Yeah, honestly, it's kind of not to say our podcast is lame, But the story behind getting the name, we literally were just like, what could we call it? And we just like looked up words that meant like arguing, and that came up, and we were like, that sounds kind of cool.
It was unique,
Yeah.
It really stuck though.
Some people don't know what it means, and I don't know if they were just stupid or.
Right. Well, it's not a word that you hear often, but it's a word that, when said in context, you understand.
And I guess I didn't know this, but I guess squabble is like kind of like a slang term for like a fight. So if you if you Google squabble, like videos of people fighting comes up, and it's really funny. Not like professional fighting, like street fights that people started recording, like school fights, that kind of thing. And it's like top 5 squabbles, and it's just like people just like beating each other up, and it's kind of funny. But one day, mark my words, we're gonna come before the fights. Right. You know that pit bull comes before an actual pit bull, the dog?
If you Google pit bull,
He flexed that on a podcast recently. He was like, you want to talk about success? He was like, if you Google pit bull, I come up before the dog. Like he knows it.
That is absolutely, I respect him so much.
Me too.
Because of that. How do you
come up before the dog?
One day, mark my words, the name Carter Andrews will come up before the fisherman. Who there's apparently a famous fisherman named Carter Andrews, and if you search Carter Andrews, thousands of pictures of this guy's fishing.
That's how I am with the guy from Drawfee, if you know that channel. There's a guy on there named Jacob Andrews. He also was on College Humor, and so if you Google Jacob Andrews, he comes up everywhere, and I don't come up anywhere. But that's kind of a good sign. Maybe the name Jacob Andrews is destined to be successful on the internet. So,
and maybe I should start fishing.
Yeah, maybe Carter's like a really great fisher. And we just don't know it.
I mean, Carter Andrews is a great fisher. I see him posting with fish all the time.
I don't really think anyone's just called a fisher. They're called a fisherman, right? Like I've never heard like, you're a really good fisher.
Right.
Like you're really good at fishing is probably what we should have said.
But yeah, in a weird way, you're right. Why don't we just say fisher though?
Yeah. Like they're not a fisher. They're a fisher.
Because like, why do you have to add it? Like fisher isn't anything. Fine. Fisher is not a term. Why do we have to add man at the like fisherman? Why do we do that? Why didn't we just say he's a fisher?
Yeah, that's
true. Why did the English language take it to the next?
Like why did they have to specify that it is a person? Maybe because if you say you're a fisher, they think it's like an FISSURE.
A fissure?
Yeah, maybe they think it's like that because that's a word. I couldn't really tell you what it means. I'm thinking about other sports though. We don't call them like a footballer. You say like a football player, which is also kind of weird.
Well, we'd use terms for football like quarterback or like a linebacker or something like that.
I'm sure fishermen have their terms.
Like, I mean, there's fly fishermen, and then there's like.
See, couldn't they just be fly fishers?
Spear fishermen.
Spear fishers.
I don't know, but yeah, you're right. They could just say
he's a great fisher.
Well,
but no, you say he's great at fishing.
Speaking of like the camping and fishing and like that, let me. Have you been following Gabby Petito's the Gabby Petito case?
Not really, which might make me a bad person. I don't, but like I said, I don't know much about it. Maybe it makes me a better person. I've just seen. I know it's a missing person, and I know that there's been a ton of posts about it pop up.
She's been found.
Oh. Then I know she was a missing person.
She was missing,
and that her name is everywhere. Couldn't tell you why.
This really makes me want to start a true crime podcast. Like whenever
wasn't it her boyfriend, and he had like a TikTok.
Okay, yeah. So there's a lot to delve into here, but mainly. Okay, so let me just start from the beginning. There was Gabby Petito and her boyfriend who they plan to get married, but it's not her fiance, I'm pretty sure. They aren't engaged, but people like to say they plan to get married or something. They want
to make it more interesting.
Gabby Petito was a YouTuber.
She was a YouTuber?
Yeah, she was a YouTuber / TikToker, and she was vlogging.
How many subscribers did she have? Let's find out.
Like, see, I'm not sure. I looked up her account, and she did have a lot. But that being said, I think she kind of blew up a little bit after this whole thing happened.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously.
But
she was like a road tripper. It looks like.
Right. Her and her boyfriend were going on.
Like a travel vlogger.
Yeah, travel vlogger. They had a van, and
they only have one video. that now has 5.3 million views.
I think she was mostly on TikTok. But yeah, TikTok and Instagram, I think, is like where she was really posting stuff.
Yeah.
And so they're living out of this van, out of Brian's van. Brian's the boyfriend, Brian and Gabby. And Brian, they get pulled over, right? This is when it kind of blows up. This body cam footage gets released of them where Brian gets pulled over because he like swerved, right? And hold on. Actually, let me back up here. So actually what happened is the police got a call from this coffee shop owner at this mall. And the coffee shop owner was like, there was like this big fight and there's a bunch of yelling and this guy and this girl got in a huge fight and the guy wouldn't let her in the van. And then finally he did let her in the van, or maybe she crawled through the window and they just drove off. I think you should like look into this though. And there was like the girl like hit him or something like that. And the cop was like, okay. So the police like are driving on the road looking for him, find him. Then he's like swerving and he hit a curb. And so the police like pulled him over, right?
Yeah.
And they come up to the window and Gabby's in the passenger seat like crying. And like bawling. And so she was on the window. The cop's like, hey, what's wrong? What's going on? And at the time they talked to both of them and the cops thought that Brian was the victim here, and that Gabby was like there was like domestic disturbance or like domestic violence towards Brian.
Yeah, like because she was
Brian
beating
had
him up or something.
Because Brian had like nail scratches all over him and stuff. And
were they defensive or offensive?
Well, the cops said at the time that it
was you can't tell from
defensive.
First. Okay,
and based on the phone call of the guy who called originally and said that she swung at him is what the guy on the phone said.
So
but what they did that at the time was they just split them up for the night and then let him go.
Didn't file this all is like Gabby Petito and what's his name? Dan?
And Brian.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought it was Dan.
Well, turns out doesn't seem like that was the case because then Brian gets home in Florida like a few days later, and Gabby is nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be found. And so now there's like, and so her parents report her missing, and the cops, of course, start looking, and they go to Brian's house, of course, and they're like, where's Gabby? And there's not really a lot of information about the family or what Brian said.
Oh, okay.
There's not a lot of information. But then they started looking for Gabby. They left his house, obviously. And then they find the body in the park in this national park that they were visiting, that they were camping at.
Oh,
and they were like, and so they declare it was homicide, and they identified it as her, and then they went to Brian's house
and he was gone.
To question him. He's gone.
I knew it.
And,
so now Brian is the missing person.
Right. And so now Brian is on the loose somewhere.
Oh, still?
They haven't found Brian.
Bro.
Yeah.
They're
looking for him in Florida right now. And because I think that's where
Brian
his house
Laundrie?
was. Brian Laundrie, yeah. And they're still looking for him. Hasn't been identified. The interesting things, some interesting tidbits are that one, he was this Instagram video. Apparently, allegedly, I should say, he accidentally went live on Instagram,
bruh,
for like a split second, and like showed like the corner of a boat and the water, and so people are like, oh, he's on a boat, he's like going to Mexico,
left the country,
or like he's leaving the country, or he's like in one of the islands or something, which makes sense if he was in Florida, right?
Yeah,
and so there's a whole thing about that, and then like some anyway, have you heard of Dog the Bounty Hunter?
No, his name is Dog.
That's what he goes by.
Dog.
I think his name is Dwayne in reality.
Dwayne the Dog. Dane the Dog Johnson.
But he goes by Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Okay.
Well, the FBI has been looking for Brian this whole time. Obviously, it's been weeks now.
Is Dog on his own private mission?
Dog
this should be a movie.
Yes. And no joke, it should be a movie. I'm dead serious. Dog is on the trail. And Dog has gotten closer to finding Brian than the FBI. The FBI hasn't even gotten close. And Dog is claiming that he is on the same island. Or was. Yeah, like Dog is on the trail, dude. And everybody's cheering him on. He's trending everywhere because he's such a... have you seen the guy? Google a picture.
Dog the Bounty Hunter? I will. Does he look like a guy who would call himself Dog the Bounty Hunter?
Dude, he looks like exactly what you can picture a Dog the Bounty Hunter to look like.
I can see. I'm picturing what I think he looks like.
What do you think he looks like?
Oh, wow. Yep. That looks pretty much like what I would think.
Now, Dog the Bounty Hunter's life story.
Are we sure this is not Joe Exotic in disguise?
These guys are in the same, they fell off the same tree for sure. But it is...
Yo, I don't even know what this article is about, but it says Gabby Petito homicide. For Dog the Bounty Hunter, search for Brian Laundrie is personal.
Brian, this guy's personal story is arguably is way better than this story that I'm telling you right now.
He needs a movie, I'm telling you.
He alone needs a movie. This story, I bet Netflix is already working on the script, no doubt. But anyway, so recently he found his campsite and stuff. In fact, at work I pitched.
I was there. No, I'm just kidding.
At work I pitched that we should interview Dog the Bounty Hunter, and we asked him, and he said yes, he was going to do it.
Oh,
yeah, and we planned it and everything, and he canceled last minute because he said he was on the hunt, that he was close to something.
He was there, he was too busy.
Stop to do an interview. Yeah.
Wow.
And later that day, it came out that he found a campsite that was really fresh near on the island that he thought Brian was on. Yeah.
Do you think it was Brian himself?
He thinks it is.
So did Brian take the van? Is the van missing?
No, Brian left the van.
What did he take?
He walked.
He just literally ran away.
Yeah. And
he didn't even drive the van a few miles, ditch it, pick up a different car?
He left the van. He was living with his parents he was living out of the van. And so his house, quote unquote, that's his parents' house. He went back to his parents' house in Florida.
Wow.
And left the van there. And the crazy thing is we know he's walking, or we suspect he's walking because someone's deer cam caught him on camera, supposedly. And so that was kind of going around.
How is Brian so good at hiding? What if it actually... Hear me out, okay?
Yeah, let me hear the theories.
What if Brian didn't actually kill her? What if some third party is after both of them, killed her, Brian knew he had to get out while he could, and he's on the run from that guy? Or maybe the reason we can't find him is he's already dead.
From a third
Yeah.
party?
What if... Yeah.
You want to hear my theory? I have a genuine theory.
Sure.
While I've been following this,
Brian is a time traveler. No.
That he's a time traveler. No. I think I think there was some domestic relationship issues in the relationship. Mm-hmm. I think it was. I suspect that it was both ways. And
you think they were in a big old fight that got physical?
Yeah, I think they were in a big old fight that got physical. I think he did it on accident.
Oh, he hit her a little too hard.
Right, he pushed her a little too hard, hit her head. Something happened. Mm-hmm. It got out of hand. He didn't know what to do, so he ran. The reason I think that is because I've watched the whole body cam footage of their interaction.
Did he seem genuinely
they both seemed genuine.
They didn't actually hate each other or anything?
Right. And then the other thing is...
Yeah, because that's here's the thing. If they just got in a fight, that doesn't mean that he was beating her or something. You know what I mean? It could have been exactly like you were saying. They were both fighting, they got out of hand, and he just happened to be the one that made the wrong move. You know what I mean?
Right. And I also think that the parents know, as well. The parents of Brian, because
are they acting sus?
Allegedly they wouldn't talk to police, right? They would only talk to police through their lawyer, which they got as soon as Brian got home. Already sus, right? And then apparently it's not really, there's nothing really official about what the parents / lawyer have told police, but Gabby's parents sent Brian's parents a note that said, "Please help us find Brian / our daughter. We just want this all to be over." And that makes it seem like the parents are not saying anything. And then what's even sketchier is that the park that the campsite that they found Gabby at, I'm pretty sure they found that the parents checked into that campsite.
No way.
As well as Brian.
Like at the time?
Later. Like after, I think, so I'm pretty sure how the events went down is they found Gabby's body.
Like the next day or something?
I don't think it was the next day. I think it was like they found Gabby's body. They approached, or they were looking for Gabby. They approached Brian and the family. Brian and the family were like, "We don't know." They left Brian and the family. They found the body. They came back to Brian and the family. Brian was gone. They left, and then but then they found, I think they found their credit card information at the campsite. Like they rented the campsite afterwards, and I think it was at the Florida beach, as if they like sent Brian off. What? Or something like that. It's some weird stuff.
You're telling me this guy accidentally kills his girlfriend and his first thought is, "Oh no, I got to call my parents."
I genuinely think so. I really do. And
I mean, actually, I wouldn't. I'd believe that some parents are kind of weird like that. Defend their kids over anything. I get that.
Right.
Well,
and they won't talk to anybody. They won't talk to Dog the Bounty Hunter. Dog the Bounty Hunter knocked on the door. They didn't answer. They actually called police on him.
Not on Dog.
Yeah. And Dog the Bounty Hunter is awesome. He's an absolute genius of a man, a beast.
He looks awesome.
And I would love to meet him.
Poor Brian. Honestly, Brian, you know what you should have done, man? Because you're in a lot more trouble now. If it was like Carter said, and it was an accident, you should have just called the police, or called the 911 actually, tried to see if there's anything they could have done to save her. Well, here's the thing. When they found her body, I mean, there had to have been an autopsy done. What is it said? Did it say it looked like she was beat? Or did it... Okay, yeah, but
I don't think it said.
Did it say it was like homicide. One swallow swoop to the back of the head, like she fell and hit her head?
I don't think they've announced that.
Okay. Because if they discover that and it was on accident, dude, sorry, Brian. You're an idiot, though. You should have just called 911. They wouldn't have even have questioned you at first. They would have been like, let's try to save her. After they'd taken care of that, after she had died, then they would have questioned you. You would have said, we got into a fight. She hit me too. Here's the proof. Here's the marks. And I hit her a little too hard. Didn't mean to hurt her. Well, obviously, I guess you mean to hurt her if you're hitting someone. Didn't mean to kill her. And honestly, you'll probably just serve some time. Your lawyer could maybe even get it down to some parole. We get it, bro. That sucks. You're probably in a lot of trauma too. You probably did if you didn't want to do that. It sucks for everyone, but you'll be okay. Now, if he gets caught, he's done for. Like, he's gone for life.
Oh, okay. Here's what it says about the camp. So, it's all about Dog. Dog is amazing. Brian Laundrie enters a Florida campground with his parents earlier this month, but he was not with them when they left 2 days later. That's what Dog the Bounty Hunter says. So, and I'm pretty sure the campsite is near the water. And so I think what happened was the parents went there with him and then sent Brian off on the water. I think that's the idea.
He's swimming away.
And that's where the boat video comes from, is that he was on a boat going to a different island.
Oh, that's getting crazy.
And yeah, it is wild.
Well, thank you for enlightening me. Now I need to be on the lookout for any bald dude named Brian.
Right. And then I saw a TikTok about this guy who looks like Brian, but it's not. And he's like, guys, I'm not Brian.
It's like, stop attacking me.
Yeah.
Brian
was like, I feel so bad for this guy. But Dog the Bounty Hunter, he is an awesome man. Mm-hmm. And apparently, like, could look up his story. He, like, him and his buddies in, like, the 80s robbed a bank.
What?
Yeah, because this is why he's a bounty hunter, he says, is that him and his buddies robbed a bank. And
were they like too stupid to catch him? And he was like, I need to take matters into my own hands.
No, I think he was the getaway driver. And his friend, I'm not going to say friend, one of his partners killed somebody and during the robbery. And so he was, he spent jail time because his friend killed someone, and then he was the getaway driver, even though it was meant to just be a robbery.
Dang. That is a crazy story.
Yeah. Something along those lines. Don't quote me on any of this, to be honest. But yeah, he is my hero.
Wow.
And you know what? I'm going to email him right now, see if he wants to be on the pod.
You should. We'll take him on the podcast.
Heck yeah.
You know, but yeah, poor that Brian, that poor Brian lookalike, poor guy. You know who else is the poor guy that you should feel sorry for?
Who do I feel sorry for?
Well, actually, I should feel sorry for all the people I offended in our Trump video.
You
that was a
should
good
feel
segue.
sorry, Jacob.
I should.
That's a great segue.
Apparently, people were really upset about that.
Yeah.
I got a lot of
rightly
words.
so.
Sure.
Just a little context for anyone who doesn't. The Trump video in what was the time frame? Did we say? I think
it was like on October
last
11th.
October. So almost a year ago. This is like almost the anniversary. Are we going to release this video on the anniversary?
We shall see.
Video?
Maybe we should try.
Yeah. The last video about Trump we made in last October is titled, "Is Donald Trump a Time Traveler?"
Yes. No, not yes to that, but yeah, that's the video.
I believe yes, because the last video, in that video, I tried to convince Jacob that A, time travel was real, and B, that Donald Trump is a time traveler.
See, you laugh too. But anyway, I've put together some words because that didn't sit well with some people that I did happen to not agree with that.
Right. Yeah, some people were angry that Jacob didn't agree and that I did agree, which is funny. Should I tell the backstory first, or do you want to say your piece first?
You can give the backstory now.
I just made up this theory myself. I really didn't do any research. I kind of just made this up because I thought it'd be funny, and Donald Trump was in the news cycle. And I didn't realize that I had stepped foot into a world of unknown conspirators like myself.
Very popular conspiracy theory. Believe it or not.
Yeah, I found a community that I thought I had invented, yet had been around for a very long time.
That was only the tip of the iceberg.
They kind of took me under their wing after I released the video.
Not me, though.
Right. They
about crucified me. I hate to use that word, but that's about how it went down. They tried to cancel me. Maybe we can put it that way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we could title this, Jacob Refuses to be Canceled.
Jacob is not getting canceled.
Jacob says no to cancel culture.
I deleted my Twitter. Anyway, so I wrote some words for those people. I didn't want to have to make this part of the video. On October 11th, 2020, we put up a video called "Is Donald Trump a Time Traveler?" It did decently well, but I said some things that were vile, offensive, and quite frankly, evil. I regret what I said. It keeps me up all night, every night. I had the audacity to say that I don't think that Donald Trump is a time traveler. I've seriously hurt some very good people, mentally and emotionally. People had this to say. In quotes. Seriously, the kid on the left, that's me, is a perfect example of how ridiculously rude and ignorant the youth have become. I had to stop watching before I let him upset me too much. The only reason I watched as long as I did is because the other young man, that's Carter, was interesting and had obviously taken his time to research this. He would be better off to ditch the idiot, that's me, and do his own channel. Another person had this to say. Dude on the left seems to be very close-minded. And my personal favorite, the main speaker speaks the truth. The other fool is either playing possum or controlled opposition within this small organization. Mockery. This last one here. You have the potential to provide a great channel if you get rid of the kid on the left. He acts so immature and rude. And I know that this was a very popular, it really resonated with people because it had one like and one response that said, "Totally agree," in all caps. I would like to sincerely apologize for not believing that Donald Trump is actually hundreds of years old and not just a regular dude. But in all seriousness, I will say, I didn't mean to come off as closed-minded, okay? I thought this was something that only Carter believed. I would not have imagined other people would have bought into this way of thinking. And you know what? Now that I know that there's some actual evidence for it, I guess, I will keep more of an open mind. I'll go into it more. I thought I was just roasting Carter, but if there's other people, I don't,
It's funny that you say that because, I didn't think that people kind of not only destroyed you in the comments, but praised me for, what was that one quote?
Being so well
obviously
researched.
Taken time to research this is what that one person said. I didn't. I really didn't. I spent probably 20 minutes on that theory.
Well, there's only 20 minutes worth of evidence, to be fair.
Well, I spent a lot of time on the time travel part. Trying to convince you that time travel existed, but the way I attached it to Donald Trump was pretty offhandedly. I admit that that part of the theory was pretty weak. In fact, several people pointed that out as well. They referenced several books that I had never heard of, and that's when I realized that this was an actual theory that I had just slandered with my half-heartedness. But that's why we're going to release this video, because I went and read all those books, all the books. I read
all 2 of them,
3.
Oh, never mind. 3, sorry.
And according to that one person, I did take the time to research. I took the time to research this, and I'm more convinced than I was in the video. In the first video, I was convinced time travel could exist, and kind of just slapped the Donald Trump thing there at the end.
Yeah.
But now that I've been welcomed by the people, my eyes have been opened, and I'm no longer a sheep. Mm-hmm. Now I truly believe the last part, that Donald Trump is a time traveler.
Wow. Let's get into it.
Yeah, and today I will prove that to you, Jacob.
Yes. And just a heads up to everyone watching now. We did have technical difficulties last time we were trying to record this episode. So this is the second time we're recording the first half of this episode. So there might be a little not so smooth transition right here.
So to recap, our last Donald Trump episode. It's titled "Is Donald Trump a Time Traveler?"
The one where I got crucified, you mean?
The one where you got crucified. Yes, it's titled "Is."
Maybe I shouldn't use that word. I'm gonna get more hate for saying that.
You did get a lot of hate, and I got a lot of praise, which we've already established was neither here nor there. But yeah, so just before I dive right in, and for those who might have not seen that past video, I recommend watching it after this. I went over some basic information about how I think time travel could exist, and then I got to the key point of the theory, which was that Donald Trump is a time traveler. And I backed that up with the simple fact that Trump's uncle, John Trump, had a close relationship with Nikola Tesla, who Nikola Tesla
created time travel.
claimed that he was close to being able to create time travel.
Yeah.
And after...
Now, whether he was or not, we'll never know.
Right, we'll never know, because he died. And after his death, the only person that had access to Nikola Tesla's work was Trump's uncle, John Trump. That's already crazy. But now...
Did he never release it or something?
No.
I'm sorry, I know we probably went over this last time. Okay.
I can't quite remember, but go watch the episode and you'll find out. But yeah, so we released that video, and then people said, well, you haven't read the right books. And I was like, oh, what books? I hadn't heard of this. Because I came up with that theory myself. I didn't realize this theory had already been out there. So I dug into it, and yes, there is already a theory that Donald Trump is a time traveler. So I'm not the only one who has stumbled across this.
Yeah.
There's an author named Ingersoll. I can't quite pronounce his name. Ingersoll Lockwood, I believe is how you say it. Ingersoll Lockwood. He wrote not 2, but 3 books.
Whoa, Lockwood?
Lockwood.
I'm coming for you, Lockwood. From Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs?
Yeah.
That's the guy's name.
Very cool name.
He's a time traveler.
Don't they time travel in the second movie?
No, they go to the food land.
Yeah, because the whole world's taken over by food.
Yeah, pretty much.
Irrelevant. The 3 books focus on a character named Baron Trump. Note.
That's
Donald Trump's son's name.
Yeah. Who's like 8 feet tall.
Who is very, very tall, yeah.
All of a sudden, he was like 12 one day, and now he's like 18 and huge.
Yeah. Crazy. But the 3 books are...
His dad's worried about the wrong court. He's a be...
What?
He's to be balling up. You know what I mean?
Oh, the wrong court.
Yeah.
That's good.
Like the basketball court.
Yeah, I get it.
Thank you. It's not totally original
Trump's
joke.
tall, too. Trump's like 6'4" or something. It's crazy. Anyway. And so is his wife, whatever her name is. I can't... Melania. I mean, she's like a Russian...
She was like a model, so...
Model, but still, their whole family's just giant. Anyway, irrelevant again. But the 3 books that Mr. Lockwood wrote were 1, Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, written in 1893, 1900, or The Last President, written in 1896, and The Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump and His Wonderful Dog Bulger, written in 1890. And so the story throughout these 3 books kind of the summary here is there's a little boy named Baron Trump, is bored with his luxurious lifestyle that he has grown so accustomed to. So he embarks on an extraordinary adventure through Russia that reshapes the rest of his life.
We all know about Trump in Russia.
Throughout the 3 books written by Lockwood, some of his adventures include time travel.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's not even the start. We've already talked about Baron Trump here. And this photo on the left, this photo right here is the sketch that is found in the book of Baron Trump. And this
are you about to say that
is
they look the
Baron
same?
Trump? Do they not look very similar?
No. Are you kidding? Listen. I said I'm going into this with an open mind. And I am. But that guy looks nothing like that kid.
Dude, what are you talking about?
I'm sorry.
I mean, come on. A little bit?
You're desperate. A little bit, just a little.
All right, fine.
Oh, man.
You're entitled to your own opinion.
Hey, listen. I'll say that the guy in the drawing looks more just like regular Trump than his son.
What? Get out of here.
No.
Dude, look at their eyes. It's got the same eyebrows. And the same.
What do you mean?
Look at
that drawing's
mouth.
eyes are like...
Okay. Fine. That's not all.
Maybe a little. I'll give it to you. Maybe a little. Yeah, I can see it. I can see the resemblance.
Well, whatever. You don't have to think that. That's just I'm starting off with the weak evidence so that I can introduce you to the strongest evidence.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
I'm building on here. The family's motto in the book is, "The pathway to glory is strewn with pitfalls and dangers." Okay. Just keep that in mind as we continue on.
Okay. Pitfalls and dangers, got it.
The Last President, the book The Last President, begins with a scene from a panicked New York City on November 3rd. The book describes it as, quote, "a state of uproar after end quote, after an election of an enormously opposed outsider candidate." I mean, just that description alone is already a little convincing. Am I right?
Yeah. So did you read this book?
I did.
What's the rest of the story?
That doesn't matter.
Does it have anything to do with anything else?
I mean, yeah, I have several quotes from the book.
Uh-huh.
And the reason that maybe I should have said this in the beginning. The reason that these people reference these books is because of the various similarities between that book and now, coinciding with the fact that all these other details about Trump's uncle and Nikola Tesla and so forth. Some other things here. The reason that they were protesting, the reason that New York City was a state of uproar, was because they were protesting, quote, "a corrupt and unethical election process." That sounds familiar. Have we not heard that before?
From the man in question.
From everybody. I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
on every side.
When Trump was elected, you had the left saying that, and then when Trump wasn't elected, when Biden was elected, you had Trump and the right saying that. I mean,
we're in a very divided time.
That's more evidence. Let me read you some quotes of the book here, okay? Mm-hmm. Here's a paragraph. The entire East Side is in a state of uproar. Mobs of vast size are organizing under the lead of anarchists and socialists and threaten to plunder and despoil the houses of the rich who have wronged and opposed them for so many years.
I'm not sure that one's so accurate to today's times.
Well, that's just, I'm setting the scene.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It goes on to say, the Fifth Avenue Hotel will be the first to feel the fury of the mob. Let me stop right there.
You know who else owns a hotel?
No, I'm serious. You know who else owns a hotel?
Who?
Trump. Trump Hotels and Trump Tower.
Really? Never heard of it.
Guess what street that's on, dude?
Fifth Avenue?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, now, you're laughing, but dude, it gets crazy.
No, I know. Yeah.
No, to you, because it describes the address of the hotel.
Well, okay.
And the address says the 22nd down Broadway, the 7th down Madison Avenue. Now, the 22nd down Broadway, I'm not kidding, is Trump Towers. And the 7th down Madison Avenue, not kidding, is the Trump Hotel. And I have a map. I have some map.
I'm looking that one up because that is pretty crazy.
That is crazy, right?
Here's the thing. I'll save it for the end. I'll let you do your point.
Oh, you have a question?
Not a question. I'm interested to see if this is true. That's kind of crazy.
This is true. That's Broadway. Uh-huh. That's the Trump International Hotel. Crazy, okay? And then,
okay.
What do you mean?
It's actually not as crazy when I see it.
What are you talking about? It's on the street that they said in the book. All right, then you come over here.
That's true, but there's a lot of buildings on Broadway.
I mean, I guess, but what are the odds that Trump's hotel is on Broadway?
Yeah.
And then you come over here to Trump Tower. Let's see. This is Madison Avenue. And guess what, dude? This is Fifth Avenue. And what was the tower called in the book? Fifth Avenue Hotel.
Okay. Well, and look, why does it say time machine right over there? Right next to Trump Tower.
Where?
To the right. To the right.
I don't see
what? Where? Literally down. Right there. You were on it.
Dude, wait, what? Wait, what?
Okay, now I'm sold.
Dude, what?
Why does it say that? What have we discovered?
I gotta take a screenshot of that. What?
Oh my god.
Dude, what is this?
What did we just figure out?
Oh, it's a watch store. What? Dude. You're telling me there's a watch store built right across the street called the Time Machine? Dude, what? Dude. Okay, I'm
okay, now I might be sold. That's the secret base where they're hiding the time machine.
That's a sign. Oh my gosh.
Okay, that is pretty crazy. That is kind of crazy.
Dude, I'm sweating.
I'll give you that. The fact that it took you so long to see it.
I was freaking out. Like, where is it?
You didn't believe me. I was pulling a fast one.
I thought you were just joking. Oh, man. Dude, what else is New York hiding?
There's a Gucci store.
There's a Gucci store too. Dude.
Oh man.
Okay. That is crazy. And that's crazy, and I haven't even got to the best part of the theory.
Okay, wow. I might be sold.
You bought in, dude? Tell me you're not bought in.
I'm certainly getting there.
That's honestly, I think, the strongest piece of evidence that they predicted the address of both of Trump's towers in New York is pretty impressive.
Here's the thing. I mean, stay on this map here. I mean, just like, look how many buildings are on Madison Avenue. You know, it wasn't that specific.
I mean, I guess you could say that. That's true.
You know, or what the other one say? It's on Broadway.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, all of those are on Broadway. It's like it's a lot of buildings. So like I'm not saying it's cool.
It's a main street.
It is quite a coincidence. I'm just not sure it's quite enough on its own to convince me. But please go on.
I mean, you're the one that found the time machine.
I did find the time machine, and that definitely sent me closer to the edge. I'm just not quite over it yet. But carry on. I'm not against this though. I'm just saying it's a bold claim, so you got to have a lot of evidence for a bold claim.
Here's my one of my final pieces of evidence here.
Piece de resistance.
During Baron Trump's journeys,
he said he was going to build a wall.
And
he was going to make Mexico pay for it. No, I'm just kidding. Carry on.
Yeah. And then he said...
His dog said that.
Yeah. And then he said, I don't like Biden. It was crazy. It was wild. And Biden wasn't even mentioned anywhere else in the book. I'm just kidding.
He wasn't even a real person. It was the world's greatest mystery.
During one of Baron Trump's journeys, in Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, he meets a man to which the book describes him as, quote, the master of all masters. Guess what the man's name is? None other than Don. His name is Don. Now,
Donald Trump would call himself the master of all masters.
And that's what I was going to say is just imagine, like, put yourself in Donald Trump's shoes. You know, hate him or love him.
They're very expensive.
He got him from Gucci right across the street from his hotel, probably.
And the time machine.
Say what you want about Donald Trump, but he's got a big head. And if he was writing a book, and I would say his whole family is basically, has that upper class kind of personality. And
they're all very ivory tower, yeah.
And if they were writing a book, would Donald Trump not call himself the master of all masters? I mean, he's gotten close to saying it already.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's called himself that just
today
on a regular day, on the daily.
And
he'd
then
be like,
named the character.
I am the master of all masters.
And then named
I know
the character
a lot
Don.
of great people.
He named the character Don.
Don's a pretty common name.
I mean, I guess.
Listen, I'm not going to say that this isn't a weird coincidence. Is that your final piece?
Pretty much.
Okay, I'm not going to say it's not odd, but I certainly wouldn't say it's enough to convince me that time travel exists at all, let alone that it exists from Donald Trump as the time traveler.
Well, so here's a little bit of kind of revising my previous theory from the last episode. I kind of declare that Donald Trump was. I kind of painted him as the mastermind behind the time travel, and I want to restate something. I want to revise.
Because he's not a scientist.
Yes,
he couldn't come
exactly.
up with it.
I want to revise that. What I think happened throughout the years is
he got stupider.
I think that this time travel ability has fallen in the Trump family's hands.
Do you think it's like an innate ability he controls, or you mean like the technology?
The technology.
Okay, you're not saying he's like a superhero.
No. I'm saying that, back in the day, probably around, it was probably credited to Nikola Tesla and John Trump.
And John Trump.
Right.
Was John a scientist?
John was. I think he was the professor at one of the colleges or something like that. I can't quite remember. But I would probably accredit it to...
Is that the guy who gave him a small loan of $1 million?
No, that was Trump's dad, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So I would credit the technology to Nikola Tesla, which fell in the hands of the Trump family. And when I say the Trump family, I don't think that they are all, scientists with this, ability to create time machines, et cetera, et cetera. I just think they have the secret.
It's like one machine was made and they have it now, like the last one, the only one.
I don't want to get into the specifics, but it's either they have the technology and haven't really told anybody, or they have the one machine.
Here's the thing. If they do have it, it's not like they're using it regularly. Probably
not. Right.
I will say this. Okay, I'm not going to say I believe it necessarily. I will certainly say that if time travel existed, out of every famous person that I think would probably use that to his advantage to go and write like a book about him being the master of masters, I will say that Donald Trump is definitely top of the list. If it were to be a thing.
Right, which it is.
But I don't think it is. I don't think that Nikola Tesla, what did he even do? Make some electricity coils? Okay. What do you freaking do?
He's like the smartest man of his time.
Tell that to Albert Einstein.
I don't think they were alive at the same time.
No one fact check me. Okay, here's the thing. Once again, I don't want to get a lot of hate. So I'm not going to say the theory's stupid. I'm not going to say that anyone is stupid that believes it, even if they are. I'm not going to say it because you aren't. Not you, but the people. Mm-hmm. But, and this is a big but. This is a Donald Trump-sized but. I'm not sold. Sorry. It is a bit crazy that his tower is right next to a place called the Time Machine.
Yeah. And I mean, come on. The book described the address to not one, but both of Trump's locations.
I agree.
That is crazy.
Are we sure that Donald Trump wasn't really just a big fan of that book, so he named his kid after him?
I mean, the book's not that popular, I don't think.
It's obviously popular enough now.
I mean, now, yeah. But
I mean, I have a theory. Here's my theory.
Okay.
Donald Trump read this book when he was a child and was hooked because he saw that the guy that he was named after, same name, was the master of masters. And he was like, this is what I want. And so he was like, I'm going to buy a building on Broadway, and I'm going to buy a building on 7th, 5th Avenue, whatever. And I'm going to name my kid Baron Trump after this guy.
I mean...
Theory?
The books were written in 1890.
What, we read books written a long time ago? Let me see what year Trump was born.
And I don't... And I don't really think they were that popular.
I'm kind of tempted to just say I agree so I don't get any more hate. It hurts, guys, okay? Your words have meaning. But I'm a man of integrity, and I'm not going to say I believe something that I don't. Will say that I'm more convinced than I was last time. The time machine thing is still really just... when you go back and edit this video, Carter, you'll be able to see my reaction. I was very shocked. I mean, I was thoroughly...
I am too.
Like in real time, I was like, "Says a time machine." It's just
I'm still a little flabbergasted. Genuinely, that is crazy.
It's like that meme of like the lady and all the numbers are coming at her, and she's like, "It's all coming together," you know.
Yeah,
that's how I felt.
Yeah, I felt like that too. I still kind of feel like that. I'm having some residual effects of being shocked.
You know what I feel like?
How
I feel like that meme of Chris Pratt in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where he's like, "What?" Like zooms in on it. That was me when I saw that it's a time machine there. And you were, I know that sounds bad. Oh man. Yeah, play that clip.
What? No, all right. I know that sounds bad.
I still can't believe I got that people actually. Never mind. I can't. I'm about to get more hate.
No, say it.
I can't believe people actually believe it so much that I hurt their feelings.
Dude, I believe it, and you're not hurting my feelings because I'm a man, and the road to heaven is thin. But isn't that?
Well, and here's the thing. Okay, you know what? I think it's narrow, not thin. Yeah. Here's the thing. People, if you're getting your feelings hurt because you believe something that I don't care how devoted you are to it, you're delusional if you think that is such a common theory that most people wouldn't make fun of that. Sorry, I'm going to say that.
Yeah, but the facts are here, Jacob. The facts are here.
I agree. I'm not saying I don't believe some things that are maybe a little odd or unconventional. But here's the thing. If you're going to agree to believe something like that, especially so passionately that hearing someone say it's silly is like pisses you off so much you have to click away from the video from a comedy podcast, if that makes you so upset then you have to realize that if you're going to believe something that's a little out of the box, sounds a little silly, something that's kind of, from sci-fi movies and stuff, time travel, you kind of have to know that the consequences are going to be people are going to poke fun at it. Okay, you kind of have to live with that.
Jacob, you are a sheep. You are a sheep, and you're being led to the
I am
fire.
Opposed opposition or whatever, controlled opposition in this small organization.
Yes, you truly are.
They say stuff like that. But how does
he's wrong? It's not a small organization. Most people are sheep, and like I said, the road to heaven.
I think he meant
narrow.
our podcast is a small organization.
Oh,
so first of all, screw you.
I was taking it as a large scale, like people are being controlled by the man. That's what
I get that. It's just it's just like okay. So let's say it's true, right? You believe that Donald Trump's a time traveler.
It is.
What changes?
What?
What now? You're just like, oh, that's cool. That's it. He's a time traveler. Nice.
Well, I mean, do you not care about the truth? The truth matters.
I mean, I guess.
And whether you could do anything or use that to your advantage in some way does not change that. Would you rather know the truth or live in darkness, Jacob?
Well, I mean, if it's something that's going to affect me, your argument was compelling. If I was someone that believed in time travel, like I said, I'd believe it was Donald Trump in a heartbeat.
Okay, so you're not convinced in the time travel, but you are convinced if it was real, you'd be on board.
If the ability to time travel existed, if it was proved, like, oh, we just discovered it, then I'd be like, shoot, maybe Donald Trump did discover it, like, a long time ago.
Yeah, because I mean, if you really think about it, I was actually thinking about this earlier. If I had if I could just choose any career, it would be to have some sort of, family-owned millionaire business, because Trump knows a lot of stuff, and not just Trump, but anybody in that that level of fame and wealth hangs out with some crazy people and knows some crazy things. And
thank you, Kanye. Very cool.
And I wouldn't be surprised if I genuinely believe that there's a level of elites that are consisting of rich people and government people.
Especially once you're both, like Trump was.
And I think that they know a lot of things that the majority of the public does not. I believe that in a heartbeat. Are we talking time travel? You know what? I think so. Yeah.
And I don't. And you know what? All those people who got their panties in a wad, that's okay. That's what this show is about.
Down with
and I'm sorry. It's also about respectful discourse. So I'm sorry if I wasn't respectful. Okay. And I'm sorry. Like I said, I thought Carter was the only one that believed it.
True. I didn't think there was a community like me. I generally made that up on my.
Do you really want to associate with those people? No, I'm sorry. That was really mean. No. Listen, those people. Okay. That's a joke. Listen, honestly, in all seriousness,
you can't take it back.
Jokes aside. Well, I was kidding. But this is not a joke when I say this. Last time I'll say it. If you believe that, more power to you. I support it. But, like I said again, if you're going to believe something that the majority of people would think is silly, there's going to be some jokes about it. I listened, and I respect it. Any mean thing I said, I probably regret. I guess mean is subjective, but
Well,
here I am.
That's all I have.
But I'm glad
you can continue to. You can choose to be a sheep for the rest of your life.
I'm proud to be a sheep, dude. Have you seen them? They look comfy, like so comfy.
Pulling the wool over your eyes, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. You ever seen those sheep shearing videos?
Yeah, you know why they shear the sheep? It's because the wool grows over their eyes, dude, and they get blind. And they actually, it never stops growing. So if you don't shave them, they suffocate and they die. And if that's not a metaphor for you and all those other people out there, then I don't know what else to say.
But how is Donald Trump being a time traveler going to kill me? And what am I going to do if I know?
This is just
tell him to stop. I don't care. You can keep time traveling.
This is just the tip of the iceberg, Jacob. If you're not even believing this, with the facts and evidence that have clearly been stated. What else are you choosing to turn a blind eye to? And what down the road is going to lead you to death? And I would argue you're already dead, and most people are, and
dead man walking.
And that to be alive is to know the truth, and you haven't quite chosen to wake up yet. And you know what? To each their own, and everyone will come at their own time. So,
isn't this what Squabble is about? Making peace with the sheeps and the wolves. What would you consider yourself?
I would consider myself a truther.
Making peace with the sheeps and the truthers. You know what I mean?
Amen. That's all I got. So,
yeah.
Drop a like, drop a subscribe, drop a comment.
Please do.
What do you think? Do you think it was real? Do you think?
Let us know.
Do you accept
my apology?
Yeah,
probably not, and that's okay.
Drop a hate comment for Jacob if you feel called.
I'd hate if you guys got into arguments and left hate in the comments to boost us in the algorithm. Oh
no! Yeah, say some more mean stuff, Jacob. Say it.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's for real. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. We'll snap you later.
We'll snap you later.